The other day, I was going through some of the videos that I've posted on this channel, looking back at the places that we've gone together and the things that I've been able to show you along the way. Helicopter glamping high on a glacier. Beach days tucked away in a hidden cove. A beacon of the past in Southern California. A giant rock that used to be somebody's home. Even the Golden Gate Bridge and Alcatraz. We've done off-airport flying in Oregon, Washington, Alaska, and California. It's safe to say that we've covered a lot of ground and, well, sky on this channel. But I realized going back through these videos that there are two things that I've never covered. And today, we're gonna check them both off that list. Hey, I'm Brett. Flying isn't just about where you're going, it's about where you can go. From rugged backcountry strips to the edges of the map, I'm chasing adventure, one landing at a time. So buckle up and come along. We are cleared to adventure.
Cessna 904 Alpha, radar services are terminated. You are cleared to adventure.
Departure traffic, Hawkwagon 8194 Alpha, taking the active on 2 right, straight out.
Now, a couple weeks ago, I posted a video about the all-new Insta360 X5 and how it has completely transformed my channel. After I posted that video, a bunch of you guys actually reached out to me on Instagram and Facebook asking me about my camera setup. And that's when it hit me. I've actually never talked about the cameras that I use or where they're positioned on the airplane before.
All right, you good? Yep.
So today, we're gonna take the Hawkwagon up for what is likely its last flight of the year before I pull it into the hangar to install the new Dynon panel. Along this flight, I'm gonna show you the cameras that I use and how I use them, and even give you a glimpse of what's coming next, because, like usual, everything is about to change. But we'll get to that in a minute. As I mentioned in my last X5 video, I've always used an Insta360 camera on my wingtip. But for a while, I was still using GoPros for my other shots. And don't get me wrong, I mean, they did okay until they didn't. They were always overheating, they had a short battery life, and it was consistent frustration, especially on my flights down in the lower 48, where heat was a bigger factor. About 4 months ago, I switched everything over to Insta360. And those problems, well, they pretty much went away. Now, to be totally transparent with you, Insta360 is sponsoring this video. But I want to make clear that I bought both of my Ace Pro 2 cameras and both of my X5s long before they ever reached out to me.
So if you notice right now on the Insta360 X5 that I've got on my wing right now, I'm trying to not have it plugged into power because I want to see how long that battery is going to last without power. I just want to see how the battery does. So we're going to see if it does okay. That layer doesn't look that hot.
It looks pretty filled in back there, huh?
Yeah. Bummer.
Well, we can head back the other direction.
Work for you?
Yep.
Cool.
Now, if you remember back to the start of this video, I said that there are two things that I'd never covered on this channel. And we made clear that the first was my camera setup. The second has to do with, well, this guy right here.
Beautiful up that direction.
I know.
This is my buddy Josh, and you've seen him in a few of my past videos. What you might not know is that Josh happens to be a certified flight instructor, and today he has his instructor hat on. Well, I mean, not literally, right? He's wearing the same hat that he always wears, even though I've given him like 4 of my cleared to adventure hats. So, I don't know, take the hint, Josh?
One of the things that a lot of people have brought up on the channel is that they've never seen me actually practice. And They see me go into these places, and they've never actually seen me practice. And so my thought today was that we would go over to like Goose Bay, and we'd do a little practice.
Yeah, totally.
But I have a catch. You basically were the guy that like got me into like kind of backcountry flying. And so I want to wager a little competition with you. It's going to be 2 or 3 takeoffs and landings each. Best takeoff and landing wins. The loser has to buy lunch.
All right. I can get on board with this.
Now, you are at a huge disadvantage here. I did 200 hours in this plane last year.
And I've flown it like 2 or 3 times.
You've flown it like 2 or 3 times. So you're at a huge disadvantage. But I figured it'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And since I figured that you and I don't want to freeze because it's freaking cold outside, I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the Insta360 Ace Pro 2s down a side next to the runway. And so instead of you and I judging each other on how our landings are, I'm going to let the audience judge.
Fair
so
enough.
we won't actually know who wins until they decide.
All right.
You down with that?
Yep. Do it.
All right. So I've got a lot of cool things coming up on this plane. When we pull it in for the avionics, both this and the 180, I'm running power to all the camera locations. Because I don't know if you remember back in the day, I used to use GoPros. And then about 4 months ago, I switched everything over to Insta360. And when I did that, the battery life on all these cameras is so much better than GoPro that I technically don't have to have power at these locations. But all these cameras have this cool feature where if I flip a switch, they all turn on and they start recording. And when I disconnect power to them, they will stop recording. And Goose Bay traffic, 9 per off. We're just coming over the top of the approach end for 08. We've got you in sight. We're gonna stay up high here for a little bit and we'll go drop into the bay. Copy that. Look, I'm even gonna square my turn to final. Sorta. Look at that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Perfection. Hanging out around 65.
I just have to give it some kind of a like.
I'm gonna draw a line. I think that's the easiest way to do it.
We set up a friendly competition, and, well, you get to be the judge. 2 takeoffs, 2 landings each. The shortest of the 2 will win. Now, normally, one of us would film from the ground, but I don't want Josh complaining that I had an unfair advantage. Plus, we both really like to trash talk each other, so this time we're going to use the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 set to Mega View, so you get a distortion-free look at how much better of a pilot I am, without Josh saying that, well, I cheated.
And Goose Bay traffic, 9 per off, we're coming out. We'll be on runway 8. And Goose Bay. All right, how are we looking on that line?
You are basically there.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
There we go.
My first takeoff, let's be real, wasn't the best, but I mean, just listen to that engine. All 230 plus ponies screaming through that 88-inch Macaulay prop. Yet another reason that I love the Ace Pro 2. The audio here is just next level. Now, for context, this plane has 3/4 fuel, plus a full toolkit, a survival bag, and a tent in the back. Not to mention 2 guys that are both slightly above the FAA's standard weight. And I've always said that I'm really not the best pilot. And if you didn't believe me, well, that's about to become perfectly clear in 4K at 60 frames per second through Ace Pro 2's
good.
Leisha lens.
And you're a little long. There you go. Boom.
Nice. And I just eat the whole thing because I'm not on the brakes.
Ouch. Yeah, that one's definitely not going to bring home the win. In fact, my only shot now is if Josh manages to scratch both of his landings, which, let's just be honest here, is a pretty tall order.
800 feet westbound power line.
All right. Here we go again. Goose Bay, 9 for Alpha on the go. Right close traffic complete.
Now, a lot of you have asked how I got into backcountry aviation. And if you've watched this channel for a while, you know that this really wasn't the kind of flying that I was into. In fact, my type of flying was always get there, go fast kind of flying. In fact, I never saw an off-airport landing until I moved to Anchorage with the FAA back in about 2007. And, well, the guy who introduced me to that world happened to be Josh. So it's fitting that the same guy who showed me this whole side of aviation is now competing against me in a quasi-STOL competition with the enormous stakes of lunch on the line. Now let's add one more little thing that you don't know about me. And that is that I can basically eat my entire weight in sushi. And so I can see the fear in Josh's eyes knowing that the restaurant that I'm going to choose if I'm going to win this is going to be sushi and sushi, and I am going to rack up quite the bill. Now, if you watch the cockpit shot from the Insta360 Ace Pro 2, you can actually see our different flap techniques. Now, thanks to active HDR, it's really easy to spot the difference. Josh is smooth and methodical. You'll see him pull 10 degrees to start, and then after the tail gets into the air, he'll pull directly to 20 degrees and lock it. Now, I'm a bit more dynamic. From 10 degrees, I will actually push the button in, and I'll just pull on the flap lever, giving me about 30 degrees, skipping right past the 20 degree mark while holding that button in. And then, once I'm in the air, I'll drop it back down to 10 degrees pretty quickly. Now, to be fair, that's why my takeoffs tend to be just a little bit shorter, because I know how my wing is going to perform under these loads and in this circumstance. Now, the real skill here comes with the landing. And to give Josh some credit here, he's actually only flown this plane about 4 times, and never like this. Even so, watch this landing.
Good approach angle. I like this. There you go. Got about 10 to go. Knots, that is. Oh, this is gonna be good. Oh, you just barely scratched.
Did I hit before it?
Yeah, just barely.
I mean, sure, he scratched, but if he had actually touched down just 1 foot later, he would have smoked me. And his second try, well, let's just say that the left tire had other plans. So technically, Josh is now scratched twice. Sushi is looking better and better.
Man, that was fun. Well, let's go collect some cameras, and I'm honestly surprised.
Now, this whole thing was really just a fun way to practice some spot landings and to shake off some rust. It's not something that I really do that often, but it's probably something that I should do a little bit more of. As I mentioned at the start, a lot is about to change with this airplane, including my camera mounts. When I first installed these mounts, I actually had no idea what I was doing. And really, I didn't have even a YouTube channel at that point. And honestly, not much has changed since those original cameras were mounted on this plane. But now, everything has switched over to the new Insta360 lineup, and the possibilities for camera placement and creativity have completely exploded. So when the plane comes into the hangar, probably next week, I'll be wiring in new power ports, building new mounts, and continuing to push what's possible with aviation's cinematography.
Push off 904 Alpha, short approach cruise east of the runway 26 numbers, runway 23, cleared to land.
All right, east of the 26 numbers, short approach through Hawkwagon 9 for Alpha.
And if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, or if you just want to record your landings so that you can get better, check out the links below for both the X5 and the Ace Pro 2. They will completely level up your filming pretty much instantly. So thanks for watching, and I will see you again on the next one.
Cessna 904 Alpha, radar services are terminated. You are cleared to adventure.